What is up, you guys? It is March 25th, 2025. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Let's talk a little bit about the mega prison that these immigrants, supposedly, these gang members from Tren de Aragua, and what the truth is, okay? So we know for a fact that there's been several, who knows how many, people that have been deported to this mega prison in El Salvador, are not members of this gang, including women. And actually, those women were sent back. I mean, even this corrupt government in El Salvador said, you know what, we're not taking women. So they sent them back. There's actually been she provided, some of those women have provided statements under oath. I can't remember the name of what that's called, but so let's get into a couple of other immigrants that are detained at the super prison, and a little bit about what the situation is there. So immigration attorneys say a gay Venezuelan makeup artist seeking asylum in the U.S. was wrongfully identified as a gang member and deported to El Salvador, a case becoming a flashpoint in the debate over the Trump administration's deportation of hundreds of migrants to a notoriously inhumane El Salvador mega prison. Lindsay Taslowski, founder of the Immigrant Defenders Law Center, said she lost contact with her client, identified as a 31-year-old gay man from Venezuela, Andrew. They withheld his last name, who had no criminal history when the Trump administration deported more than 230 migrants it claimed were members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua to El Salvador on March 15th. Toslowski said Andrew disappeared from detention records the same day, and his name later appeared on an internal government list obtained by CBS of migrants deported to El Salvador's terrorism confinement center, a mega prison known for human rights violations. ICE wrongly detained Andrew last year when he sought asylum over persecution for being gay and his opposition to Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, because immigration officials thought his tattoos linked him to the gang. Andrew is among multiple migrants deported to El Salvador whose attorneys and family members have said they have no gang affiliation or even criminal records and took the appropriate legal steps to seek asylum in the U.S. The Trump administration claims it had the authority to deport the migrants it suspected of gang affiliation without court hearings under the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, a decision blocked by District Court Judge James Boasberg, who said it's not a valid claim. Boasberg ruled on Monday the migrants were, quote, entitled to individualized hearings to determine whether the act applies to them at all. You're telling me this man is from Tren de Aragua? He's so dangerous we had to send him to a foreign prison camp to be beaten with no due process? Do you have any soul left? At Marco Rubio, host of the Bulwark podcast, Tim Miller tweeted, referencing Andrew along with photos his lawyers have shared of him posing with makeup brushes. A barber from Venezuela, Franco Jose Carabillo Tiapa, who's 26. He's among those that are included in the list obtained by CBS of the Venezuelans deported to El Salvador with absolutely no criminal history, no affiliation to this gang. He has no record there, according to CBS, which reported the DHS record notes his tattoos, but they do not say that they were linked to gang affiliation. His wife told him that she lost contact with him on March 15th. Another one, a Venezuelan professional soccer player, Jersey Reyes Barrios, 36, was also deported to El Salvador after U.S. immigration officials alleged last year his tattoos were linked to gang affiliation. USA Today reported, citing his attorney, Lynette Tobin, who said the tattoo DHS cited was of a soccer ball and a rosary. Barrios was seeking asylum in the U.S. after he was arrested and tortured in Venezuela for protesting Maduro, Tobin that told the New York Post. DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin said officials are confident that he is in a gang. It turns out his tattoo is from Real Madrid, which is a soccer team from Spain, which makes sense because he's a soccer player. Philip Holsinger, a photojournalist who documented the migrants' intake into the El Salvador prison, wrote for Time magazine and said, one young man sobbed when a guard pushed him to the floor and said, "I'm not a gang member, I'm gay, I'm a barber." Holsinger wrote that he believed him because the man did not look what he expected. He didn't look like a, quote, tattooed monster. Inmates at El Salvador Terrorism Confinement Center, known as CSOT, are kept in cells equipped with metal bunks, crowded with dozens of inmates for 23.5 hours a day, according to CNN. The cells have no sheets, pillows, or mattresses. Inmates are not allowed books, and meals are served through the cell bars, CNN reported. The State Department also documented credible reports of harsh and life-threatening prison conditions, including incidents as described as, quote, torture, such as beatings by guards and the use of electric shock in a 2023 report. The facility was opened 2 years ago amid El Salvador's crime crackdown and houses as many as 20,000 prisoners, much of whom are accused murderers or drug dealers. The Trump administration repeatedly resisted requests from Boasberg, who's the district judge, last week for more information about when and why the migrants were flown to El Salvador, as he seeks to determine whether it's violated his order to turn around flights carrying migrants deported after the Alien Enemies Act. The Trump administration has claimed that the flights took off before Boasberg issued his ruling on March 15th, hours after Trump invoked the wartime authority, and has argued Boasberg's written order did not include the instructions that he gave verbally less than an hour earlier to turn the flights around. The Trump administration has also challenged his authority over restricting his use of the Alien Enemies Act. That's where we're at right now. It looks like Trump has again requested to have it appealed. It has been denied. In fact, it's gone to the point where Trump, Musk, God knows who else on this administration has called for the impeachment of this judge. And Chief Roberts from the Supreme Court, also buddies with Trump and assigned by Trump, appointed by Trump, said you cannot impeach a judge. If you have an issue, you go through the proper channels. Just requesting or doing all this. So for the fact that Judge Roberts did that and provided a statement is a really big deal, because it's very rare that a Supreme Court justice actually puts out public statements like that. I will continue to keep you guys posted. This is very important. This is illegal. And let's just put it this way. It is not against the law to be a gang member. I'm not defending gang-related issues or anything, or the things that are associated with gangs. But that on itself, any gang affiliation does not warrant being deported or being arrested unless they've done something wrong. So let's get back to basics when it comes to the law, because this administration doesn't give a shit about the law. Repost, save, do all the stuff. Make sure that you click my bell so that you can be notified every time that I come out with a new video or every time that I go live. That's all I got for now. I'll talk to you guys soon. Much love. Peace.